I'm going to talk about Sagittarius and Scorpio and why these two signs are so incompatible. Well, Scorpio, first and foremost, is a water sign. It has to do with the deep, dark, underground stuff. Like if you were to walk under a tree, you would see your shadow. Well, that's exactly what Scorpio deals with. It has to do with all of the, stuff that's sort of hidden, the hidden stuff. All of those depths that you can't see really. And so Scorpio as a sign, there's a sort of fiery element to it. Even though it is a water sign, there is a fiery element. There's an element of sort of coming out into life and really wanting a really powerful experience of it. Going to Spain and then, traveling all around it and then, enjoying the Moroccan fair in Morocco and then but that's more Sagittarian, But, I always think of caves as being very Scorpionic. Caves. Because a cave is very caved in. It's very, you could go into a cave and it's so incredibly hidden. Because everything you see is just all the dark stuff in the caves, and you want to keep all that yourself, right? You want to keep all that money and all those resources that you kind of put away into your sort of psyche and sort of kept inside of you. But with Scorpio, it's about going beyond words. Because there's so much depth there, and there needs to be a sort of releasing of all those things, sort of releasing of the feelings and the vibes and everything like that. So, that's Scorpio. It's the scorpion, where if you try to hurt it or get the better of it, or maybe become more powerful. But, with that, there's also powerlessness, which is like South Node in Scorpio, where you're powerless against this greater force, and North Node in Taurus is all about claiming the power. Getting back to what you value with it. And so it goes into the unseen. It's also called the occult world, where you need to go into the shadowy parts, because Scorpio doesn't allow you to sort of skim on the surface of things. All that glitters is not gold, because if you look carefully, there happens to be a monster sticking out of that gold by the name of the dragon from Lord of the Rings. It's also a card from Colin Baron Reid's Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So, Scorpio, pull you down into that underworld, into the real somber, serious truth of life. Sagittarius is a very, very different flavor. It wants to celebrate life. It just wants to go out on a limb and try this, try that. Sort of jolting, sort of high vibe experiences. Because Sagittarius is all about the fun factor. Sagittarius is all about broad travel. It's all about going beyond your neck of the woods, going beyond your local community and your, the grocery store and your, outdoor, front yard, beyond maybe even the town just right outside, who knows. It's about viewing the world from a higher perspective. It's also about higher learning and philosophy, positive truths, positive, deep spiritual understanding that can wake you up, get you energized, get you outside. And, getting outside and just traveling, just bike riding, running around. It's all about just expanding beyond sort of the known details of things, which is Gemini. So it's very, very positive. It's very big, loud, vivacious sort of energy. And Sagittarius is represented by the centaur. And you see the centaur shooting the arrow high into the sky. And what could be observed from this and perceived from it and understood is that it aims high. And then, of course, you want to go out to the new lands to retrieve the arrow. So you can feel the difference. You can feel the different flavors when it comes to the scorpion and the centaur. When Sagittarius season comes around, it's like we've done all the healing. We've done all the going deep and going below the surface and unearthing the details that are there that have to be kind of put back up again. And Sagittarius is, now let's go out there and let's have fun. Sort of if you were to be in the underworld, it's coming back up from the underworld, coming back up to the bright world, the light world, the upper overworld. Spring and summer with the flowers, bursting out with the grass and trees, and the clouds in the sky, all around, and the birds singing, and place after place, and town after town, and this person to meet, and so many things to learn about and experience, and hang gliding, going to this restaurant, going to this museum, going to see the terracotta warriors, who had to, there were people laboring to build the Great Wall of China. And so, yeah, this is a difference in the flavors.